Good morning, retail traders. I'm going to bring you a trade today that I got in trouble in. And I've been at this for a long time, so what I saw was kind of unusual, and I wanted to go ahead and jump in and trade, and it was Apple. So let's go ahead and look at the trade itself. This is Apple. I took the 180 strike for September 15. I took it right at 8:36, right when the bell rung. I mean, we had a big knife right at open. So I said, this could be it, man. This could be it. So my first entry here, if you look on that time frame, it was right at 8:36. I bought one call for 198. So if we go back to the chart and look at the chart, I got in this first call right here, and I thought I had me a nice little support level. I had 3 black crows, and we'd pulled down. Let me see that right here at 179.05. We had 3 black crows, and we landed, I thought, was spot on a trend line. And if you go back and look, it was a pretty sharp knife, and it kind of hit the bottom of this channel, so I called out this inverse head and shoulders, or at least this dip. I said, I think we're going to hold right here. We dipped below the pre-market low, so I jumped in my first trade right there, and it just went ahead and knifed more. Now this was a long knife, straight sell-off. So the next trade I got into was this dot right here, and I bought another call at 172 at the 180 strike. And that was right here. And then I got into the third call. We dipped it down again. I thought I had it here. I got in way too early on these stocks. I should have waited until we broke out of this snake and then started taking the trades. That was my first mistake. I'm a snake trader here. And we didn't break out of that box. I don't know why I didn't. I think I took it here because I saw the 3 crows and I thought we were going to bounce right back up. And then we dipped again, and then my third trade came in, and I bought 2 contracts at 142, and that was right at 9:49. So by this time I was in it 13 minutes. Let me see if I'm right. 8:49. So that third time I got in the trade was right down here at the bottom. And then we started breaking out of the box. And I said, all right, finally. So I'm getting up here close to my, not even yet, but I'm getting close. And then we just went ahead and knifed. So my fourth entry, I just said to hell with it. I mean, things weren't looking too good for me. Especially with this pattern right here. This is an expansion pattern, which could cause a little harm. So that thing started widening up on me. And every time I think we'd hit a bottom here, 1, 2, 3, that's when I got into the third trade on this 1, 2, 3 right here. I talk about the 1, 2, 3 a lot. So that was my fourth entry. By this time I was in it 4 times, so I was in it for about $1,000. My average cost was 153, and I had 6 of them, so 153 times 6, I had $918 in it by this time, and I had 6 contracts. I bought 2 more at that other spot. This is Apple, and we're going to widen this up more. That's where I bought my last entry on this double bottom right here, and I seen the 1, 2, 3, and I said, okay. So then we started breaking out. I had pullback again, and I was about to even again on my trade. I was going down. I was down, what, $200, $150, $200 by this time. And then we had that good run, and we hit this here moving average. That's the 300, I think, or the 200 EMA. And I went ahead and sold the trade. And I regret selling. I was really upset because I was in this trade too long, for one, and I wanted to get out with some profit. And it started coming down on me, so I sold it. I made $74 out of that trade, but it's a lot better than losing 200. By the end of the day, if I just had enough guts to hold on, I mean, here would have been another hour holding on to this sucker. And I didn't know if I could go ahead and go through with that. I was already in it for 2 hours, and I wanted to get on to another trade. I only trade one at a time because, there's just, I got a certain strategy that I use, and I jump from one to another just consistently all day long, or even say trade the same trade all day long. But once I was stuck in this trade, that's all I wanted to focus on. Cost average down is not easy. I mean, you got to know that you're taking a big risk when you cost average down in a trade. And there was a couple times when I did do this where I was even, and then she would go ahead and pull back again, and I'd add on, then I'd be even, then she'd pull back again to a new low, and I'd add on, and it gets in your head because you don't want to take a loss. I don't want to take a loss no matter what it is. So I ended up making $75 on this trade. It kind of put me out of the spirit for the rest of the day. I scalped a few other trades, but I wasn't really into it. Now, if I would have took a loss on this trade, there's many times where I sat there and wanted to pull the trigger and say, I'll just take this $100 loss. I'll just take this $130 loss. I'll just take this $60 loss. But I stuck it out, and I was kind of happy about that. But the knife was just notorious this morning. Anybody that traded it. And I don't like trading these expansion patterns on a downturn. I'd rather see them go straight out or up instead of down, because that's, and I'm so glad, so happy that we held that support level right here. We did go below it, but I just stuck with it, and I said, come on, man. I was like I was sitting at a dog track saying, come on, Buster, go around curve 3. But I did scale out of it. I was able to make some profit on the trade. I got out at 165. My average was 153. So I made $74 on the trade. I could have made a lot more. I mean, if I'd have held on to it instead of getting out at 165, I could have probably got out around 240, 250, maybe even 254. Who knows? But I would have made $600-700 on that trade if I just had to. If I just held on to it. If I held on to it all day long, I would have had a pretty good trade. But when you're in trouble and you're down and you're to the point where you're about even or are even, I would suggest to anybody to get out of that trade. If you're even and you've been through what I've been through for 2.5 hours in this trade, and you're back to even, and you don't think it's going to break, which I did, I sat on there and said, no, let's go a little higher. I kept pushing myself at the even point. I wanted to get something out of this trade, and I finally did. So that's Apple. It turned out to be a decent trade after all, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient with it next time when you have a huge breakout like that. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy. I just wanted to bring you this trade and explain what it's like to cost average down. This is recorded live. If you want to go back and watch the live session, it'll be right at open. You can hear me bitching and whining all day long. Anybody in the room was probably getting very tired of it, didn't want to hear it. But that's that. And I'll come in here tomorrow and make a killing. When I have days like this, the next day's always great. So that's it. Sneaky Snake Trading Strategy, where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. I wish everybody a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow live on YouTube. Hit that like button. Make a comment. If you think it's going to go somewhere, give me some ideas, and I'll look at it. I might take your idea and run with it. Have a great day.